My brother wants his B17 back, so I got a B18C for my Backmarker. Welcome to VTEC Academy. You're about to get schooled. I am putting a new engine in Project Backmarker. It's had a B17 in it. It actually belongs to my brother. He's getting his CRX back, so he needs his engine for his car. So I have an R DOT Honda B18C. Now, R DOT is, if you look right here, there's a little inscription there that says R DOT. It's got the Honda symbol in it. That means this was factory rebuilt at Honda. So this engine has essentially 0 miles since the rebuild, and we're going to be putting it back in this car, seeing what kind of horsepower we can get out of it. I'm hoping that it works out pretty good. Might add some cams to it as well. In fact, I probably need to hit up somebody to figure out what kind of NA build I can do on this using the stock block and pistons. Maybe get a little extra oomph out of it. I do plan on using the stock intake manifold with the air intake bypass, and I'll be running this on a B18C ECU. So we're going to pull that motor out, put this motor in, but first I got to put this motor together. Like I said, when I got it, it was basically a long block, and I need to turn it into something that's usable for my purposes, and that is a complete engine with transmission. If we look over here, you can see the transmission I have. This transmission is out of a Integra XSI from Japan. It has an LSD. It's a cable transmission, which is what I want. I want a cable transmission for this particular build. I don't want to switch to hydraulic because I do hope to have some AC in this car at some point. And I'm redesigning the Hasport AC bracket to be a little bit more compact so that it works well with this large radiator. So I'm hoping to have AC and be able to drive this thing around in the summertime, which would be nice. So here we are. I was actually able to find this B18C. Actually, this was given to me. Tim Beadle was cleaning out his garage and said, come get all this junk I have. And one of the junky things he had was this manifold. Didn't have a throttle body, but I'm sure I can find a throttle body. It was missing the vacuum reservoir to work the air intake bypass. What I found was a vacuum solenoid that's actually, this one's out of a Prelude. Preludes also have the air intake bypass. For those of you who don't know what air intake bypass is inside this plate right here is a set of butterflies. So as the RPM increases, the second set of butterflies open up, thereby shortening the route of the air, hopefully giving you more peak horsepower. So at low RPM, you have longer runners, and at high RPM, the shorter runners open up, so all 8 runners are open, and that should help you get more peak horsepower out of the engine. Now, this doesn't perfectly fit inside our bracket because there's actually mounting holes for it to bolt to the bottom of the H22, but this should be good enough for me to use until I can actually find a real live GSR one. It has a solenoid here. This is what gets operated, so when the solenoid is opened up, vacuum is applied to this pot right here, and then this opens up the butterflies. Hear that action?
Yeah.
All right, that is what happens. It opens those up using vacuum, and that allows the shorter path for the air and hopefully better peak horsepower. Now, in an EF, we have to change a few things on a B18C. One of those things is this block bracket. This is the B18C block bracket. Now, I have, here we go. This is Hasport's version of the block bracket that comes on a 1993 Integra. This bolts up to the Hasport EFB mount kit, which we already have in this car. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, the valve cover's white, the intake air tube's white, and the engine mounts are actually white. I had them Cerakoted when I was doing this because I thought it'd be kind of cool to have a white stripe and Cerakoting. Oops, let me move this. For those of you who don't know, this is a ball mower for tennis.
I was gonna say, it looks like something for tennis, dude.
I actually agreed to repair it, and I really need to do that. So I need to fix that. But anyway, so this block bracket allows you to use the EFB mount kit from Hasport. One thing about the B18C though, is it's a slightly taller engine. So what winds up happening is with the...
You're talking in the live stream.
I am. But you know what? That records, so you can always just take some B-roll.
Yeah,
that's what you want to do. All right, so anyway, so one of the things about this is these engines are slightly taller. So what winds up happening is this corner of the valve cover is actually going to touch the understructure of the hood. So you have to make a little dent or cut away some of the structure underneath there for that to happen. It's not going to touch on this particular hood because this is an SIR style hood. So let me show you what that means.
It means you're hella JDM.
Huh? It's hella JDM. So the SIR hood has a raised center section. If you were to get a normal EF, you would notice that instead of this raise right here, the USDM versions drop down almost identically. So all they've done is gone from here to here. So, and that is on the CRXs that are the SIR, which come with the B16 motor. By the way, the B16 motor sits higher in the JDM car than it does with our mount kit. We did that because we needed to clear the hood. But because I have this front end, my B18C will not touch the hood, which will be perfect. If you're doing a B18C swap, you want to do a little clearance, otherwise you're gonna rub a little paint off on your valve cover right here.
Yeah, but this one's already pre-rubbed.
Well, you know what? This particular valve cover is complete, undamaged. I know it's not right, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be stripping it down. Actually, I'm not. This valve cover will go onto my shelf somewhere. And what I will be doing is doing a Type R valve cover. So instead of the white that I've been using for this particular car, I'm going to change everything over to red. So the mounts are going to go red. The intake air tube is going to go red. And this stripe that goes around the body is going to go red also. That's like the SIR is in Japan when this car was made. So my new mounts, instead of being Cerakoted white, are going to be anodized red. Now, just so you know, Cerakote's actually much more durable, but I decided to go with this after we recently built a bunch for Honda for their race program. We do the engine mounts for the new Civic, new Integra, that kind of stuff. They like this color red, so I went ahead and had mine anodized in red as well, so I could be just like them. The only thing lacking is I'm not going to have the Honda Racing logo etched onto mine like they do, but I think those will look pretty cool. We'll go ahead and anodize the air tube red as well as getting a red valve cover. So I think it'll look pretty slick. And I actually made 2 sets of the transmission mounts. I made a set for hydraulic as well, although I didn't bring them home. This is the cable style one. It's a beautiful thing. So we will be switching over to red trim on this car, which should look pretty cool. By the way, this car used to originally be red. I don't know if you know that.
I do. I was talking to Carter about how we all have the shiny red cars.
And I have a black car.
And you have a black car that used to be red.
That used to be red. Yeah.
If we had all 3, we could have had all the golden arrows.
Yeah.
Then we could have been a crew, man.
We could have been a crew. We are already a crew. All right. Okay, we're going to start off with changing this block bracket. Now, we're going to have to take the timing covers off. I'm going to try and sneak this top one by the valve cover, but I might have to loosen it as well. So one thing though, you're going to have to take the crank pulley off. And let me show you something I discovered recently is just a game changer. This is a weighted socket. It is heavy. If I threw this at Aaron right now, he'd be down. So this thing is super heavy and it just seems to hit harder. So we've had on occasion crank pulleys we weren't able to get off, and once I bought this, I have yet to find one that I can't take off. Now that doesn't mean this Makita is going to be able to do that because it's not particularly strong, but we're going to give it a try, see what happens. This could be loose too. I may have just hand tightened it. Nope, it's tight. Boom, baby. It's off. If I had just used my regular, if I had used the regular socket, that would not have come off. Okay, make sure you don't lose this little key right there. You need that Woodruff key. That's what aligns the crank pulley. I had a friend one time that didn't put one on, and his crank pulley unspun itself and left.
Oh.
And he was driving down the freeway, and he heard a clunk, and then he watched it rolling down the freeway in front of him.
Did it go like through his radiator? Or
No, it hit the ground.
Oh, okay.
Hit the ground, jumped forward. It was actually the point where he was putting on the brakes. He hit the ground, hit the underside of his car, put a little dent in the thing, not bad. But then it just took off and was rolling down the freeway.
Those things, they have a lot of energy in them when they're spinning like that.
They're steel with that rubber bonding thing in order to decrease vibrations. They are a harmonic dampener. That's the way Honda makes those things. But next, let's take our covers off. Let's see, yeah. Oh, you can see this is a newer engine because it has the crank fluctuation sensor on the crankshaft. So this is part of OBD2 electronics. This kind of monitors if the belt winds up getting loose, then you could wind up with a crank fluctuation error code. It can also happen if your distributor starts to go bad. Oh, come out of there. Do I have them all? There we go. Ooh. Ooh. Creamy. Not sure what's up with all this white stuff. It's been rubbing up against my trailer and all the... It's got a brand new belt, brand new water pump. Ooh, pristine. It is
that's
pristine.
the water pump I need.
Yep, can't have it. It's mine.
Gotta go to sleep sometime.
No, don't. This is the block bracket itself. Holy shit. Oh my goodness.
This is the part where...
Who did this? Who torqued this on?
Is it Honda?
Yeah, I feel it was Honda. No, wow. I wonder if it's got Loctite on or something. That was crazy tight, but you know what? It feels like it's Loctite. Loosen up now. A little bit of Loctite on there. Oh, you can smell it. Yuck.
What, Ben?
Huh? Like the bolt's bent. Did you see it wobbling? Mm-mm. Oh, it's even jammed in there. It's bent. Can you see the... See how it's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a little scary. Hopefully the threads are okay.
Do you have...
Get another bolt.
Do you have other bolts?
I should. These all seem too long. So, notice how these bolts look brand new? They're not. One of the things I've been doing is when we send out hardware at Hassport to get it zinc plated, I send a bunch of used bolts with it.
Which one was the weird one?
Oh,
The bottom one?
that one right there.
That one? That seemed okay?
The one that went in easiest.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if Honda did that on purpose because of the damage to the one bolt. The torque's probably like 33 foot-pounds on this. That one was in probably, felt like 90. Although it was the Loctite, really, that was
holding it.
Yep.
Because what? These are M10s?
These are M10s, yeah.
And what's the torque range on an M10? It's like
It's about 33 unless it's going into steel.
Okay.
Then it's a little bit tighter than that.
See, now you'll be able to tell if anything is leaking on it because it'll be on the white part.
Yeah. I wonder if this is, I mean, it's obviously not brand new, but it's in pretty good shape. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's soap from washing it. They never had the rubber gasket be so fresh.
It's the R dot life.
R dot life. Make sure my gasket's seated properly. It is. We're good. When I was in high school, my senior year, I worked at a Honda dealership, and I did two things. I worked on all the two-strokes that came in because I had been racing motorcycles for quite some time. The other thing I did was I put together all the brand new bikes. And it was interesting. I remember this one mechanic saying, he goes, don't break off any of those 10 millimeter bolts. By the way, that was the first tool I ever bought from Snap-on, was a 10 millimeter wrench. Because I didn't have one. I had everything else and somehow I lost it, which, you know, that's what 10 millimeters do.
Because you were working on bikes.
They just make a run for it. So yeah, working on a bike. So I bought a 10 millimeter wrench. And the guy in this old grizzly mechanic said, don't break any M6 bolts. People always like, just grab the ratchet and break them. He goes, never do that. He goes, in fact, what you need to do, if you want to get the right torque rate, is you tighten them with one hand. He says, hold by the head of the ratchet, and then you can tighten it as tight as you want, and you won't break them. So that, right there, is what I do. Should I change the valve cover right now so it looks nice?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, because this thing looks ugly.
It looks
fugly.
It looks
Too used?
worn. Looks gently loved.
You know what? By the way, does anybody know where I can get these open top nuts that hold the these washers down on the inside? They're open top and they have a shoulder on them, so that when you put the cover on, the cover sits on the shoulder. It's kind of cool. I remember the first power tool I bought when I worked at the Honda dealership. It was called a butterfly ratchet. And it was a air ratchet that was about this long, about as big as your fist, and it had this thing on top, this flap that you could flap either way. That's why I called it a butterfly. And that's how you tighten and loosen things. And it was pneumatic. And it was like, the guy, when I was looking for tools to buy, same grizzly mechanic goes, oh, you want to buy one of these? I'm like, what's that? It's a butterfly ratchet.
JDM Nuggets has asked what year this was in high school, and you want to hear the year he suggested?
75 and 76.
Oh, he was so close.
What did he say?
1942.
That's my dad. Actually, he would have been still in elementary school.
Yeah.
Whoa, there's no gasket on this. Well, let's hope there's a gasket on that.
There's... Yo, Honda.
Well, apparently I need to purchase a gasket. Brand new. You guys can't see this, but it's brand new.
Made in Japan.
Look at this thing, it looks pristine in there. All right, tomorrow I'll order the gasket kit for this. I will just set it on in the meantime.
Just to keep stuff out of there.
Keep the garbage out. Keep the rodents out.
Now it really looks like you accomplished a lot.
Dude, we're done for the night.
It's a build.
It's a build. It's built, not bought.
You're like, it's built, not bought. I got it for free.
I got it for free, yeah. Yeah, did I mention that? I got it for free?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned it to you, I knew that, but I didn't mention it on the...
I think the live stream was going.
Got it from a Honda dude who's like, I was gonna build a CRX, but now I want a K. And then he's like, I don't know if I want to build anymore. Want to buy my CRX? I'm like, yeah.
Is that the one you have?
That's the white one.
Nah.
The white HF. I still got to pick it up. Okay, next on my list is this vintage AEM fuel pressure regulator in red anodized. It'll go right here, This will be just kind of go with the whole motif. Well, let's see how it matches. I think the mounts are a little bit darker.
Probably just, that's pretty close.
That's pretty close. This, by the way, is...
It's just because that's so much older than that.
This is like 20 years old.
Yeah.
It's so old, as a matter of fact, I should probably take it apart and look at the diaphragm, make sure it's not dried out. This is an interesting story.
What's the fun in that, though? Wouldn't you rather go for your first start and have it be fucked?
This is an interesting story. There used to be this guy, there used to be a company called Place Racing. They made engine mounts. And Gil Garcia was pretty active on the discussion forums. And one day he's like, I got a riddle for everybody. It took me a while to figure this out. What do you guys think? So he starts describing this problem. And he's like, this car, the number, I forget what it was, 2 or 3 cylinder, doesn't want to fire. And he goes, so I'm pulling the plug out to see if it has spark. And I turn the thing over and gas just blows out of the cylinder when he turns it over. He's like, oh my God, look at all that gas. He goes, can anybody tell me what was wrong? And it turns out that the diaphragm was bad in the stock fuel pressure regulator. Actually, it was an aftermarket fuel pressure regulator. The diaphragm was bad. And the vacuum line went from the top of the fuel pressure regulator to that cylinder runner. And it was just, and whenever it pulled in, it would just, well, actually just, instead of it, the fuel pressure regulator holding pressure in the rail, it was just...
all the pressure was going through there.
Going right through there, right into the cylinder. It was just running in there.
So what, now you want to check that one?
Not at all. Yeah, I do want to check it, but I'm lazy, so I'm not sure I'm going to do it. I think it'll actually be easier to unbolt it when it's bolted on here. So I'll check it out after I get it bolted on. This may be a mistake, taking this off.
You know what, we do it so other people don't have to.
Holy shit. All right, so, interesting. So, got a pretty big spring in it. The spring gets a preload from this, and that determines what the fuel pressure is. And then you have this diaphragm, which the fuel pushes against it, and when it gets to a particular pressure, all the excess fuel bleeds by out this return line. So that's how these things work. So,
does that diaphragm look good?
huh? Yeah, it looks fine. Not dried out and cracked like I was or feared. So what I did was I went ahead and checked it to see if the diaphragm was okay. It looked fine. It wasn't cracked or anything. Still was supple and rubbery. I went ahead and rotated this 120 degrees. So now the AEM symbol is more on top, and my vacuum is more off to the side, so it's kind of more out of the way.
All right, what's up next? We got...
All right, so next up on this is the transmission. So going to be transmission and clutch.
Okay.
So we'll start off with this.
Flywheel.
I actually went into my pile of parts and I found a lightened flywheel.
Okay.
So we're going to start off with that. This is, I know I should put a new bearing in it, but this bearing feels fine, and I'll bet money this bearing probably has less than 2,000 miles on it. I'm certain it was in one of my engines that basically got put together and then taken apart almost immediately.
Basically one that wasn't a race car, so...
It was in a race car, exactly. So it gets put in, taken apart, and here we go. So I'm going to put this on. Let's see, bolts. By the way, pro tip, the B series have the number 23 written on the back side of them. Do not try to use those in your K series engine.
I know why.
Why?
Because they're the wrong size. You'll tighten it, it'll mushroom itself in the crankshaft.
Right.
And then you ruin your crankshaft.
Screwing your crankshaft, yeah. They're just slightly too long. They look almost identical, but they're too long.
They trick you with the thread pitch being dead on.
Yeah. You're like, oh, it's Honda. It's all good.
These are Legos, right? These are just
Yeah.
everything just
interchanges. No, not really.
You can't, but you have to run a spacer, and that'd be really weird on your flywheel.
We'll just put a bunch of washers behind it. It'll be fine.
I feel like I've seen somebody do that though.
Oh, well, if they did, they're morons.
Like somebody that was like racing and they were just kind of like screwed. And they
Needed something? Well, you can put it all on this side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. You wouldn't want that. It eventually would work its way loose.
Still be like too much play.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You want as much contact as possible. Even when people make the spacers, when they're doing like adapter plates, they're dead flat on each side so that there's as much contact as possible.
Oh, well, there's a sequence, 30, 60, then 80.
Okay.
So 80? 80
So
it is.
Actually, we'll do 50 and then 80. Go to 80.
And I wonder if it's different with used flywheel bolts.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
You know, because they kind of have that stretch already. I don't know.
That's one reason why I don't think it's critical to do all 3 steps.
Okay.
For my clutch plate, this is an old organic disc, one of the race ones. It's got lots and lots of meat on it, so it's going to be good for a while. There we go.
And you want
Hand me the pressure plate. Did I do it right the first time? Yes, I did. Next up on the list is to torque down our pressure plate. I have an assortment of pressure plate bolts. It's so funny, there's 9 bolts on here, which I believe is more than they actually require for the K series.
Well, they have 9 for the exhaust manifold, and that's more than the K series.
Huh?
So they have 9 for the exhaust manifold, and that's more than the K series too.
Oh yeah. But at least the K series is a larger size.
Yeah. We just cut straight to step 4.
10, 15, 19. What'd you say?
Just cut straight to step 4.
Yeah. Oh, they want me to do it in steps?
Oh, there's 4 steps.
No, thanks. Too many. So, what we're going to do right now is put the vacuum canister on. That's this item right here. This is actually one from a Prelude, so in reality, I don't want to use it. So,
So you might build a Prelude sometime.
I might build a Prelude, exactly. So we're going to go ahead and pull it off. On here for like 20 years, so it doesn't want to come off as easy as I'd like it to. All right, so this is the correct. Oh, check that out. Just from prying on the.
Good Lord.
On that, I ripped my fingernail up and I'm bleeding. Anyway, so this is it. Let me tell you how it works. So we have this part. This connects to the manifold, all right? Connects right here to the manifold. This other port is for the fuel pressure regulator right here. So this is a reservoir of vacuum. So it's got this little one-way check valve, so it's always has vacuum in here. So once it gets vacuum and you need to open up the butterflies, the solenoid gets turned on, and that opens up this port right here. And this port then goes up here to the diaphragm that opens up the butterflies. So that's how this works. Now, this one on the Prelude bolts directly to the manifold. This is actually what holds the one on the GSR. So this bolts underneath, and then the vacuum canister bolts in, like, or clips in. So let's get it up in there. we go.
That was a good click.
Put this there.
It's good and tight.
Good and tight.
So much stuff to just mount an alternator.
Yeah, it's interesting how much they simplified the whole setup for the...
And I'm sure when this came out, this was like the standard kind of thing for alternators. But
Oh yeah.
what's next?
It goes from here to here. So what we are going to do is shorten this to
And I think
there.
the curve goes on the up top, that
Like
rounded off
that.
part. Yeah.
Yep.
Spring clamps,
Spring clamps.
hose clamps under 2 inches.
These things. So you were interneting the other day, and you noticed some of our friends started a new automotive channel that weren't previously automotive guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, talk about that.
Oh yeah. Our friends Alex and Andy from Linus Tech Tips finally made the jump in and created their own channel. We were up there and they're like, "Yeah, I would like to do my own channel, but I don't know if they'll let us." And I evidently they worked it out, and now they got zip tie tuning.
That's right.
So it's car stuff with a little bit of jank. Well, I assume that the jank is Alex's BMW, because Andy's Integra Type S is
Not
so
jank.
nice.
Definitely not junk.
And yeah, and they just popped up, I think last week or the week before, and
Is it part of the Linus Tech Tips Media thing?
it doesn't look like it.
Okay, so it's their own deal. That's kind of cool, though.
It's pretty cool because I was talking with Andy about it. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know if they'll let us do it, because they'll see it as a competition, or they'll want it to be under LTT."
Yep.
But they got it, and so we get
Very cool.
more friends that we know with the channel.
Yeah, so check that out. They don't need any help with subscribers. They've already got
I think they're going to beat us in like
in about
half a week.
Yeah.
It took us 8 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
Them, about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because they're really good guys, and we spent a lot of time with both of them.
We did.
Especially Alex. We went to go pick up the
Pick up
swap
all the
from,
parts. That's
from
right.
FedEx. Oh, in another country.
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about throttle body. Throttle body is next. So this throttle body says here it's power throttle bodies, professional products. Initially I thought it was an overboard stock throttle body. It's significantly larger. Here, put it on, you can see how much bigger it is. Oh yeah, baby, totally interferes. Completely interferes. There we go. Now it doesn't interfere. Now I see why. Anyway, so we open it up. You can see in there how it is quite a bit larger. The issue is, though, that this throttle body is aftermarket, made probably for like a B16. So it has the cable comes from this side in order to operate the throttle body. On a GSR, the cable comes from here, probably to avoid this right here.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting, this is like way in the way. So now I got to figure out, I was thinking about using one of these and making a custom bracket to come underneath, because I'm not sure I'll be able to find a GSR throttle body. I'm going to go back and look at my stuff. If I have one, cool, we'll just use it. If not, I'm probably going to use this, and then I'm going to need to do something with this to get it out of the way.
Make it shorter,
Yeah.
slightly.
So what's interesting is you can't just take this and attach it over here, because it's supposed to be behind the thermostat so that the pump circulates water through the head, because the pump operates on this pipe right here, goes to the back of the engine, and that water circulates through either a control valve, through the throttle body, and through the head until the thermostat opens up, and then it circulates through the block. Now this and this are actually for the heater, the car's heater. So, interesting. Oh, fascinating. Look at this thermostat housing. Which way is it pointed? It's pointed up, and the hose that goes onto it is simply a right angle. So that thermostat housing is not a GSR thermostat housing. That thermostat housing is, this is for a B16. So it's incorrect. It should be coming straight up, and therefore this just is a right angle. And that would keep it from interfering with the throttle body. So now my question is, can I find a GSR thermostat housing, or am I kind of at a loss with that? Do I need to switch to a B16, like a skunk manifold, which would put the throttle body up here? What do you think?
Or do you have a B16?
B16 what?
Intake manifold?
Intake, it won't bolt on.
Oh, it won't.
This doesn't line up.
Oh, okay.
This particular port is different depending whether it's B16, B18, B18C. There are 3 different locations.
And but is it the same as the Type R?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's not the same as
It's
Type
different
R.
than Type R.
But Skunk makes a Type R style manifold that fits on the GSR head.
Okay. I guess you're going K series.
Yeah.
Wait,
That sounds like something I'd do.
Yeah, but this is the cost to do like old school.
Now I wonder why this was on this block. This GSR long block came as a rebuild from Honda and clearly was incorrect because it came with this on it.
Or maybe they were doing something else with it and they put that on there, and then they said, we'll just get.
I guess perhaps.
They just stopped in the middle of whatever they were doing with it.
Well, no. Well, that's true. It could have been, again, it's an R DOT. Maybe it didn't even come with that. Mm-hmm. Maybe somebody else did that because they were doing something.
Or it was just sitting there and they're like, hey, I'll throw this on there and it fits.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't have to decide today.
Mm-hmm.
We can still move forward. Let me try actually just twisting this and seeing if it kind of lays over and out of the way. Probably zip tie it. Probably do some zip tie tuning. Wow. So if we just put a zip tie like that, we'll be good. Zippy tie, I have another one of these intake manifolds. If it has a throttle body, we'll use that. If not, we'll use this one, and I will make a bracket. Let's get that engine out, and we'll borrow a few parts off of it and put this engine in.
So pure.
It's so unused.
Got like maybe what, 20 miles on it?
Yeah.
Did you drive it
back and forth to work a couple times.
Okay.
Disconnect the exhaust, disconnect the shift linkage, take the axles out, take the subframe out, and take the rear mount loose. Then we should be able to drop it down on a stand and do all the rest of the stuff from the top, drop the motor out. Should be pretty straightforward. Right now, we have to take off the infamous bitch pin. Let me show you what it is. This is an 8mm roll pin right here. Right there. And that thing is tough to get out, particularly when you're laying on your back. One of the things you need to do is find something 8mm to drive it out. And what'll happen is it's very difficult to keep it centered in there. Now you can actually buy a roll pin tool in 8mm, that'll work for that, or you can make one. I'm gonna take this AC bolt and I'm gonna do a little quick grind on it in order to get it so it centers in there. And then that way I can whack it good with a hammer, it'll pop right out.
Got him. This is an aftermarket clutch cable.
Yeah, that's supposed to go, be sunk down inside there. It's like they just trimmed a little piece of cable, put a little rubber sleeve around it to make it fit right. Need to figure out what brand it is and give it a bad review. Gone.
I'm having flashbacks to why I didn't enjoy working on my EF. Oh, it sounded like the engine just went down. Oh, something fell the rest of the way. It's out.
It's out.
Unicorn engine removed.
The B17 is on the ground. The only thing we have to do left, we have
And then after that, we'll just do the one.
So the B17 is on the ground. Next, we need to strip a few things off this, the wiring harness, the distributor. The engine mounts are actually gonna go in a box. We're gonna do red this time around. But we're gonna pull the parts off that we need, put them onto this engine, and then this engine can go back in. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. We hope to get this running on the next episode, or at least everything working properly. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us on another episode of VTEC Academy. Please think about liking and subscribing, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you.